everyone's having a fine Thursday. Pull you up. I can see all our saying. Quick. And we'll close that one. Where's today's? We are. Hello, YouTube. Good evening. Good evening. Greetings to you all. All three of you. Let me guess, they're still preventing me from chatting in my. Let's see. Yep. Still completely unable to chat in my own chat on my own channel. Oh, nice. Thanks, YouTube. Doing great. Ay. Okay. Let's get going. I'll drop the link for everybody in the live, and if you would, please do go hit the thumb. There we go. Oh, I got to do it too. I got to do it myself. Let's forget to do that. There we go. Good. Cool. All right, let's get. Oh, yeah, my browser's not going here. Back. All right. Okie dokie. And I know I have some stuff tagged here to lead off with. Random findings throughout the last 24 hours. Events and UFOs yesterday. I think we did. Dabbing that. Okay, Secretary of War Hegseth is stripping away job protections from the civilian employees of the Department of War and directing managers to act with speed and conviction to fire employees performing unsuccessfully. Oh, man. September 30th memo titled Separation of Employees with Unacceptable Performance also warned that managers will be held accountable if they fail to remove poor performers. Good stuff. Signs are good. Good things to come. They're making changes like that. The frogs are still out in Portland. Living it up to Dr. Dre. Oh, hey, everyone remember this? Everyone remember this? Back 2020, August 2020? The Trump supporter who got murdered point blank in Portland. Where's the video of it? Not a tagged video of it. Maybe they'll show it here. Some photos, none of the video though. It's pretty wild. Let me find it. Trump supporter shot Portland. Everyone remember that? Well, it happened again. At least maybe. It's kind of early to say for sure, but it certainly could be the case. Oh, here we go. You'll see in the next video, and hear them shouting, "We got one here, we got one," or "We got two here," or something. Trump, meaning Trump supporters. That's the guy who got shot here, going down. There he goes. The shooter was later killed in a shootout with police sometime later. I think sometime after this happened. Right here, he says. You hear that? We got a couple right here. I'm pulling it out. He's pulling it out. The guy's friend that was with him. You can hear him say his name. Jay, are you okay? Unreal. Wow. Wow. So anyway, it happened again. It's been kept rather quiet. I don't think I've really seen much talk about it anywhere, but a Trump supporter was shot in Northeast Portland 3 days ago. That's not what I want to click. Gosh darn it. All right, where'd it go? There he is. 39-year-old Derek M. Rice, seen there with, well, that shirt. Everyone knows that shirt. Police were initially called to a reported shooting near Northeast 125th, near Prescott Drive, just after 5:30 p.m. on Monday. Once on scene, officers found Rice in critical condition, suffering from at least one gunshot wound, taken to emergency room where he later died from his injuries. The suspect or suspects had already left the area before police arrived. As of, well, a couple days ago, no arrests have been made. I haven't heard any talk of any since then. Let me see if we can find any news coverage of this anywhere. Oh, look, there's me. Yeah, I saw your message. Cena says you got to change that pic. Thank you for reminding me. I will take a nicer photo on like my nice camera, and I just like screenshotted that from this one, and that's not the greatest camera. We'll get a better photo, or more suited to this. I don't look happy, and I need to look happier, don't I? I'll probably look happier. Derek Rice, Portland. Week, okay. A brief blurb about it. Just one local station, 30-second.
Portland police are investigating a deadly shooting in the Argay Terrace neighborhood. Officers responded at around 5:30 on Monday night near Northeast 125th Place. They found 39-year-old Derek Rice of Portland and tried to perform life-saving efforts until paramedics took him to the hospital, where he later died. No arrests have been made, and homicide detectives are now leading that investigation. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to contact Portland Police.
I did see that his girlfriend or wife had like started a GoFundMe or something for medical and funeral expenses. Yeah. See if that gives any info. By Katie Hearn. Was the light of my life for the past 3 years. Showed me the meaning of true love, but his life was cut short by senseless act of violence last night. Derek had no insurance, but we promised each other that we would take care of each other until the very end. So I'm trying to raise money for his funeral and burial services. Please help if you can. Derek was only 39 years old. Looking forward to living into his hundreds. Jeez. That he knew he would live to be 105. And I truly believed him. Ouch. Jeez. Oh, there he is with MAGA hat. So who knows? At this point, it's kind of hard to say. It sounds like there weren't any witnesses necessarily. Who knows? Maybe ring cameras these days. Hopefully, police are actually doing their job. But this being Portland, I mean, yeah. Okay. Where were we here? Oh, Loudermilk on the pipe bomb story, talking to Kara Castronova.
Could you update us on your work so far with the pipe bomber?
There was a lot of question. Were there even explosives? And one of the reasons that was a question is because the Secret Service was at the Democrat headquarters, right? Because Vice President-elect Kamala Harris was there. Well, the advance team went to the DNC before she arrived and made several passes with a bomb-sniffing dog that never hit on that device, or where that device was supposed to be.
So why would that be, do you think?
Well, originally we thought, well, maybe they were inert, maybe they were practice, or they were not. They didn't have explosives in them. But now we know they did have explosives. So that opens a new door of questions. Why would the dog not hit on a pipe bomb that video shows
it wasn't there,
placed the night before?
Yeah.
To me, the only answer to that is the pipe bomb was not there when the dog came by.
Could you update us on your work so far with the pipe bomber?
There was a lot of question. Were there even explosives? And one of the reasons that was a question is because the Secret Service was at the Democrat headquarters, right?
So why would they go plant it and then go remove it and then go plant it again? Is it I don't know, maybe because they got a heads up that a bomb sweep was coming. I'm just saying. I mean,
because Vice President-elect Kamala Harris was there. Well, the advance team went to the DNC before she arrived and made several passes with a bomb-sniffing dog that never hit on that device or where that device
So why
was
would that
supposed to
be,
be.
do you think?
Well, originally we thought, well, maybe they were inert, maybe they were practice, or they were not. They didn't have explosives in them. But now we know they did have explosives. So that opens a new door of questions. Why would the dog not hit on a pipe bomb that video shows was placed the night before? To me, the only answer to that is the pipe bomb was not there when the dog came by.
Could you update us on your work so far with the pipe bomber?
There was a lot of
so, have they looked for video of it being removed yet? I mean, removed and replaced? The whole thing is just so bizarre. So strange. Secretary Duffy here, yes, held a press conference in the afternoon.
They don't have
Oh, with Vance and a bunch of others.
money coming in the door is very, very real. So we are doing all we can to work with our partners to keep things running smoothly. But in the end, we can only go so far. And if I could just, before I turn it over, I love that you guys are asking us questions about what we can do to make this less painful. There's an easy, painless solution. Pass a clean CR. And by the way, I think you all, I mean, I was part of some shutdowns myself in Congress, and the tone of the press corps is very, very different in this one. You were rabid against Republicans who voted not to open the government up, and it seems like everyone is so docile. And so, like, what is the president going to do to alleviate the pain? I'm out of them all. Anyone can go see the World War II Museum. They can all go see the Vietnam Memorial. Again, we didn't close those down. This administration is doing everything they can to alleviate the pain on the American people. Go back to Barack Obama. He did everything he could to shut down parks and memorials across the city. And so, again, it's an easy answer. Go ask the Democrats that question. Say, what are you going to do to make sure that people get SNAP benefits this Saturday?
Nothing.
Or they have health care.
Mike Johnson.
Amazingly, the media is criticizing
On Mamdani.
Republicans for fixating on Mamdani. I read some of that yesterday. This socialist uprising is something that we have a responsibility to call out and sound the alarms. That's what elected representatives of the people are supposed to do, and we take that responsibility seriously. And obviously, Mamdani is a big issue here in the halls of Congress. Why? Because the second highest ranked Democrat in the country, Leader Jeffries, endorsed him. They're making Mamdani a mainstream Democrat now, and this party has left the people. Of course, the press wants us to ignore Mamdani. Here it's an embarrassment because most of the press is on the side of the Democrats. They don't want us to talk about that, but we have to. Because by endorsing Mamdani, Hakeem Jeffries has endorsed and co-owned his positions, his past statements, his Marxist playbook, and everything else that guy espouses. And so, too, does every single House Democrat who will be inviting their leader, Jeffries, to their campaigns and to their districts next year. Every single
Insanity.
one of them at every campaign stop should be asked, what do you think about Mamdani? What do you think about his positions?
Insanity. But people ought to pay attention to it, because, I mean, if the GOP doesn't do its damn job and save the working class, that's what's coming. You watch. People will switch like that. If things continue to drag on, get worse even, especially if they get worse, a lot worse. Or, I mean, really, if they just, they don't even have to do that. Even if they just stay how they are, you know, exactly how things are now. People will not have it. They'll switch. Enough of them anyway. Young people. Not good.
He did the monster mash. It was
The White House posted that an hour ago. Good fun. This is interesting. J.D. Vance getting up on the stage and just taking questions from literally anybody. Vice President.
Israel, sometimes they have similar interests to the United
He gave a great answer on this.
States, and we're going to work with them in that case.
Rather quiet, but
Sometimes they don't have similar interests to the United States. And this example, the most recent Gaza peace plan that all of us have been working on very hard for the past few weeks, the President of the United States could only get that peace deal done by actually being willing to apply leverage to the state of Israel. So when people say that Israel is somehow manipulating or controlling the President of the United States, they're not controlling this President of the United States, which is one of the reasons why we've been able to have some of the success that we've had in the Middle East. Now, you ask about, sort of Jews disagreeing with Christians on certain religious ideas. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the realities is that Jews do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. Obviously, Christians do believe that. There are some significant theological disagreements between Christians and Jews. My attitude is, let's have those conversations. Let's have those disagreements when we have them. But if there are shared areas of interest, we ought to be willing to do that too. For example, one thing I really, really care about is the preservation of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Christians believe that that is the site where Jesus Christ was crucified, and also that his tomb is right there as well. My attitude is, if we can work with our friends in Israel to make sure that Christians have safe access to that site, that's an obvious area of common interest. I am fine with that. What I'm not okay with is any country coming before the interests of American citizens, and it is important for all of us, assuming we're American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's what we're going to do. That's what we try to do every single day, I promise you. Thank you.
Interesting. New MK Ultra documents? Look at that. There it is. New MK Ultra docs just dropped, courtesy of this organization, the National Security Archive. We advocate for open government and use FOIA to obtain declassified documents. The Artichoke organization had been studying the use of certain facilities in the United States as testing grounds for new ideas, experiments, etc., particularly using criminals and the criminally insane. Tell me more. So this is GWU, apparently. Affiliated in some way with George Washington University. Excuse me. Okay, well, let's go through their little thread here, at least. Top secret testimony of CIA's MK Ultra chief 50 years later, Sidney Gottlieb. In secret Senate testimony from October 1975, Gottlieb said the CIA experienced as many failures as successes in exploring the intelligence applications of LSD and other drugs, saying it was probably not a high payoff program. I don't know, as many failures as successes, the 50-50 rate's not bad. Well, depending on how you look at it, anyway. Other parts of the deposition focused on Gottlieb's involvement in CIA assassination plots, especially those targeting Cuban leader Fidel Castro, and its support of the activities of other federal agencies through a project called MH Chaos. Gottlieb described LSD as otherworldly, adding that it gave you proprioceptions, meaning you were perceiving feeling in yourself as opposed to feelings of things outside yourself, like seeing a door, as opposed to feeling something inside your own body. It's an odd assortment of quotes. All right. Well, I'll drop the link anyway for anyone that wants to go through the actual goods. Unfortunately, I can't put it in YouTube chat, of course, but I will put it in DLive and someone can copy it over. There we go. All right. Keep going. On to Miss Steph's pile here. They're doing Halloween decorations at the White House? Yeah. Neato. All right. Good fun. Comey has filed another motion to dismiss his false statement criminal case, arguing literal truth. I don't know. For responding to Senator Ted Cruz's fundamentally ambiguous questions with literally true answers. Literally true says who? Says James Comey, of course. All right, let's go down to the bottom of the pile here. Got to get through as much as we can. Oh, that's right. We got Xi Jinping today. Well, I certainly got to get caught up on that. I don't know about you guys. Oopsie, I went too far. There we go. Trump's schedule today, what did that look like? Return to the U.S., boarded at midnight, arrived at 7 this morning. Busy day. Oh, he's doing Halloween at the White House. No, that's right. Sorry, I forgot to check for that. We'll pull that up to have that waiting in the background. And we'll jump to it when they go live. Okay. Got Bessent real quick here on China.
Possibly as soon as next week. And Maria, one of the big parts of this agreement, and I'm going to break the news here on your story, is the massive amount of agriculture purchases that the Chinese are going to be doing in this agreement. So the Chinese have agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans during this season, right now, between now and should be January, and then for the next 3 years they're going to be buying a minimum of 25 million metric tons per annum for the next 3 years. What I would expect is, as President Trump did in 2020, after President Xi had agreed to the Phase 1 deal, he called him regularly and got him to buy more, and that number went up much higher. Possibly as soon as next week. And Maria, one of the big parts of this agreement, and
Okay. Trump says, I had a truly great meeting with President Xi. There's enormous respect between our two countries, and that will only be enhanced with what just took place. We agreed on many things, with others even of high importance being very close to resolved. Wonder what? I was extremely honored by the fact that President Xi authorized China to begin the purchase of massive amounts of soybeans, sorghum, and other farm products. Our farmers will be very happy. In fact, as I said once before during my first admin, farmers should immediately go out and buy more land and larger tractors. Oh. I would like to thank President Xi for this. Additionally, China has agreed to continue the flow of rare earth, critical minerals, magnets, etc. openly and freely. Very significantly, China has strongly stated that they will work diligently with us to stop the flow of fentanyl into our country. Well, I mean, we'll believe it when we see it. They will help us end the fentanyl crisis. China also agreed that they will begin the process of purchasing American energy. In fact, a very large-scale transaction may take place concerning the purchase of oil and gas from the great state of Alaska. Chris Wright, Doug Burgum, and our respective energy teams are going to be meeting with the Chinese to see if such an energy deal can be worked out. The agreements reached today will deliver prosperity and security to millions of Americans after this historic trip to Asia. Now heading back to Washington, D.C., I want to thank the great countries of Malaysia, Japan, and South Korea for being so generous, gracious, and hospitable. Also, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, who were at the dinner last night, hosted by His Excellency Lee Jae-myung. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being brought into our country because of them. Our nation is strong, respected, and admired again. And the best is yet to come. All right. Trump demands the imprisonment of Jack Smith. That's right, for targeting himself and Republicans. Says, quote, "He's a criminal and should be in jail, a major lowlife and failure, an ugly person." Oh, wait, is this about Joe Biden? Or I thought this was about Joe Biden. "An ugly person, both inside and out. I beat him badly and love watching him squirm now." I thought that was about Joe Biden, but maybe it's about Jack Smith too. Yep, let's not forget who else was responsible for managing Arctic frost before Jack Smith took over. Matthew Graves. Who was then appointed D.C. U.S. Attorney by Biden in 2021. Same time Graves was obtaining grand jury subpoenas for Trump World. He was prosecuting and putting on trial January 6ers in the very same Trump-hating D.C. courthouse. Oh, Senate Judiciary Republicans posting up a little graphic here, the evolution of Arctic frost. Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, Jack Smith, and Chris Wray all listed at the tippy top as architects of Arctic frost. Which was used against, my goodness, Trump, 9+ members of Congress, 92 Republican organizations and individuals, and 197 subpoenas for 430+ Republican entities and individuals. God. Are all these even known yet? And has all of this been publicized at this point? Like who all got caught up in this? Okay, NBC's Kristen Welker shouts hostile questions like a wackadoo biatch, of course, during Trump's meeting with Xi Jinping.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Go. That's right, though. He did indeed announce that the United States will be returning to nuclear testing. I believe he said something to the effect of equal to that of our adversaries, or thereabouts. President Xi arriving in South Korea last night. Wow. Breaking: Scott Bessent reveals President Trump has finalized a TikTok agreement with China.
TikTok, any issues related to TikTok operating in the United States?
Maria, in Kuala Lumpur, we finalized the TikTok agreement in terms of getting Chinese approval, and I would expect that that would go forward in the coming weeks and months, and we'll finally see a resolution to that.
Any issues related to...
Alrighty then. James Comer interviewing all the White House staffers on the AutoPen.
Was the president even mentally fit to make those decisions? And
no.
That's when we brought Dr. O'Connor in. And Dr. O'Connor, when the first question we asked, were you ever told to lie about Joe Biden?
The White House physician, yes.
The White House
physician. Oh, yes. I'm sure he was.
And he pled the Fifth Amendment.
Of course he did.
So
he wouldn't answer that.
You referred to him and then two other aides, Anthony Bernal and Annie Tomasini, all of whom pleaded the Fifth, to the Justice Department. What are you expecting them to look into?
We believe there was a cover-up of Joe Biden's mental fitness. The fact that Joe Biden met with Ian Sams, his White House spokesperson, 2 times in 2 years. The fact that he met with Neera Tanden, who was his executive secretary, once every month or whatever. I mean, it's shocking. Every other president, President Obama, President Bush, President Trump, they meet with these staffers multiple times per week. And Joe Biden was clearly shielded. And I think you wrote very well and very accurately in your book that he was shielded from people. He was shielded from Pete Buttigieg. He was shielded from his inner staff. So the question that I think the Department of Justice needs to ask these people that pled the Fifth, was there an organized cover-up? Why did you not give the president a cognitive test when even mainstream media outlets were?
Because who needs a cognitive test? I mean, just look at him.
We're demanding that Joe Biden take a cognitive test. Was the president?
Okay.
But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
Oh.
I think it was a 12.
Not even an 11, huh? I know. He's going for a 12.
Very importantly, just the whole relationship is very, very important. And I think it was really good.
Especially coming on the heels of the successful trip. We're in Malaysia. You signed a peace deal for Cambodia and Thailand. Critical mineral deals with all our allies.
So many successful meetings. And so many meetings made for our country with literally hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars have come into our country over the last 4 days, represented by this meeting. But trillions of dollars, where Toyota is going to build plants, $10 billion worth of plants, and I could go over so many different companies coming in. They're pouring money into the United States. But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best.
Okay. Trump just scored a massive victory in his meeting with Xi. China's going to buy U.S. oil and gas from Alaska. Or how much exactly? On top of buying 12 million metric tons of soybeans this season and 25 million tons per year for 3 years.
Yes, now here's some more outlines of the deal. Donald Trump will reduce tariffs on China down to 47%, which is down from 57%. China will curb...
Still... Quite high. Wow.
Fentanyl trafficking, China will purchase American soybeans again. The deal, which has not been signed, is
Good, he's still got something to, dangle over them.
only for 1 year. Trump also said China would begin buying American oil and gas from Alaska. Here was the scene in Busan on the southeast corner of the Korean Peninsula. The meeting with Xi lasted for an hour and a half, not the 3 to 4 hours Trump had predicted earlier. Their first face-to-face meeting since Trump returned to the White House. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who met with Chinese officials in Malaysia at the beginning of this trip to Asia last week, the 5th such meeting all over the world, these meetings, announced earlier to our colleague Maria Bartiromo the volume of the American soybeans China has agreed to purchase.
The Chinese have agreed to buy 12.
Oops. Oh, whatever. I already read that out anyway. Okay, here's Trump shaking Xi's hand. Famously small hands. Pooh Bear hands.
Good to meet you. Great pleasure to see you again. Good to see you again. Me too.
And we're going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good.
God, look at him like a freaking stone.
We know each other well.
Nothing.
Mr. President, do you plan to sign a free deal today?
Could be. I think we'll have a great understanding. We have a great relationship. We've always had a great relationship.
Let's hear from Pooh Bear.
Will you just go for one?
Which way?
Timu Pooh Bear.
Thank you very much.
Guess we don't get to hear from Timu Pooh Bear. All right.
And it feels very warm seeing you again.
Here we go.
Because it's been many years since your re-election. We have spoken on the phone 3 times, exchanged several letters, and stayed in close contact. And our joint guidance, China-US relations have remained stable on the whole. Given our different national conditions, we do not always see eye to eye with each other. And it is normal for the 2 leading economies of the world to have frictions now and then. And in the face of winds, waves, and challenges, you and I, at the helm of China-US relations, should stay the right course and ensure the steady sailing forward of the giant ship of China-US relations. I always believe that China's development goes hand in hand with your vision to make America great again. Our 2 countries are fully able to help each other succeed and prosper together. Over the years, I have stated in public many times that China and the United States should be partners and friends. This is what history has taught us and what reality demands. A few days ago, in the latest round of consultation, our 2 economic and trade teams reached basic consensus on addressing our respective major concerns and made encouraging progress.
Okay.
Demands. A few days ago, in the latest round of consultation, our 2 economic and trade teams.
Okay, that was in the video. I was trying to figure out if that was my computer, if it was in the video. That sound. Stunning moment as Xi Jinping says Trump is the peace president to the entire world.
Mr. President, you care a lot about world peace. And you're very enthusiastic about settling various regional hotspot issues. I appreciate your great contribution to the recent conclusion of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. During your visit to Malaysia, you witnessed the signing of the Joint Declaration on Peace along the Cambodia-Thailand border. to which you had provided input. China's been helping in our own way Cambodia and Thailand properly settle their border disputes, and we have also been promoting peace talks to resolve other hotspot issues. Mr. President.
What the spot? Hot pot. Sounds like hot pot. Making me hungry.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Vince hag-assed. Slinging that question out there again. Trump on his way back to Washington here. Well, that's going to be loud. We'll skip that.
I thought
After the meeting.
it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And what can I say? We have, it was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made. There wasn't too much left out there. And we've come to conclusion on many very important points, and we'll be handing that to you in a little while. You know, we're having, so there's a lot of different things, many of them very important. We're in agreement on so many elements, large amounts, tremendous amounts of the soybeans and other farm products are going to be purchased immediately, starting immediately. If you notice, President Xi authorized yesterday for China to start, did you know that, right? China to start buying in very large quantities of soybeans and other things, which I appreciated. That was a very nice gesture.
And other things.
And many other things like that. On fentanyl, we agreed that he was going to work very hard to stop the flow. You know, it's a very complex subject because it's used for lots of different reasons, including anesthetics and things. But he's going to work very hard on it, precursors, and I think you're going to see some real action taken. I've agreed, as you know, I put a 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl coming in, which is it's a big tariff. And based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%, so it's 10% instead of 20% effective immediately. I believe he's going to work very hard to stop the death that's coming.
Well, guess we'll see. Hear the Halloween celebration spinning up there in the background. I was wondering why we were all of a sudden getting like a 70s kind of funk jam. Oh, it's the Thriller. Okay, and it's launched into Thriller. It's great. You got the band there playing all the classics. Well, I don't think there's really going to be too much here for us to watch, so we'll get back to the news here in just a moment, but it's pretty cool. What a song. Kids are loving it. Getting candy. What's this? Oh, he's got a... Is that a Secret Service? Some kind of police outfit. Not bad. Not bad, kid. Yeah, Secret Service. Nice. That'll definitely get the president's attention. He'll like that. That's pretty good. Not bad. It'd be a fun event to cover as a photographer. I saw her poking in there at the side. Excuse me. All right. Well, seems that's all that there really is to it, so we'll keep going with the news review here. All right. So it sounds like they talked about chips and not the Doritos kind. The silicon kind.
What about chips, sir? Did he agree? Did you agree to sell any more down
chips? We did discuss chips, and he's going to be. They're going to be talking to NVIDIA and others about taking chips. And we make great chips. NVIDIA is the leader, and I'll be speaking to Jensen from NVIDIA. But they're going to be discussing that with NVIDIA to see whether or not they can do. I said that's really between you and NVIDIA, but we're sort of the arbitrator or the referee. It's a little rough up here. The skies are a little rough.
And just to clarify, sir, that is the downgraded Blackwell chips. You would authorize those to be exported?
Not the Blackwell. We're not talking about the Blackwell. That just came out yesterday. But a lot of chips, a lot of the chips. And that's good for us.
What about chips, sir?
Lot of chips. Lots of chips. The best chips. These are rough winds in Asia, I must tell you, he says.
Discuss basically, these are rough winds in Asia. I must tell you, this is a rough flight. We could have waited an hour, maybe.
Yeah, they are kind of like
a little tough.
Kicking around a bit.
These are tough conditions for interviews. They're going to be watching Trump. They're going to say, he didn't look too good. He's got the shakes. I don't have the shakes, but people are going to think I do.
Salads are Ukraine.
Discuss.
That's hilarious. All right.
Ukraine came up very strongly. We talked about it for a long time, and we're both going to work together to see if we can get something done. We agree that the sides are, locked in. Fighting, and sometimes you have to let him fight, I guess. Crazy. But he's going to help us, and we're going to work together on Ukraine. There's not a lot more we can do. He's been buying oil from Russia for a long time. It takes care of a big part of China. And, like you say, India's been very good on that front. But we didn't really discuss the oil. We discussed working together to see if we could get that war finished. It doesn't affect China, it doesn't affect us, and I'd like to see it done on the basis. I don't like to see 6, 7, 8,000 young people, mostly young people, for the most part soldiers, be killed. Ukraine came up.
On nuclear testing, real brief here.
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing. We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing.
For now.
We've halted it many years ago.
If we want it to stay that way, we better get cranking. Better get making more.
But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Any details around
the testing, sir? Like where, when? It'll be announced. We have test sites. It'll be announced.
Oh, by the way, I just watched that nuke movie that's been making the rounds the last week or so. What's it called? House of Dynamite. Let me pull it up here. I actually thought it was quite good.
I always thought just being ready is the point. It keeps the villain in check. Keeps the world straight. They see how prepared we are. Now it starts a nuclear war.
So it basically runs through the hypothetical process in the modern era of what would happen in the event of in just any, like a single nuclear ballistic missile flying in from an unknown source. I don't know who it is in the movie. It's for whatever reason, somehow our satellites cut out at the exact right moment to, prevent them knowing who it was. I don't know how realistic that really is. I think you'd probably be able to trace the trajectory back to where it came from pretty relative accuracy, but you know, hey, they do things for stories. The rest of it is pretty interesting. They don't identify they don't show the president for the longest time, and in my opinion, they very deliberately make him sound like Trump, and make him sound like this caricature of Trump almost. And it's only in the third act that they actually show his identity. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but it ends up being an interesting twist, because it's not what you'd expect, and just has this interesting effect that, like, I think it kind of just pulls the rug out from, hey, the people, well, either MAGA people that assume like, oh shit, this is like a hate on Trump movie, or the reverse, the libtards who see it and think, oh yes, they're ragging on Trump. Oh heck yeah, and it like yanks the rug out from both sides of that in the third act and completely subverts it. It's like subverts all of the expectations that each point of view would have built up over the first two acts, and I think that just has an interesting effect on you as a viewer, because it just kind of, I don't know, it just pulls you out of everything that you've built up in the first two acts, and you just find yourself thinking, holy God, like this, if this happened, like this could get really bad. Like it's a really well done film. I was quite surprised by it. Catherine Bigelow is a good director. She's done very good films previously. So she did Hurt Locker, which is an excellent movie. Very, very good movie. So this one I have to recommend, despite it being Netflix. I personally still have Netflix just because I get it through T-Mobile. So I get it for free anyway, so I don't have to like feel bad. I don't know if there's alternate ways to watch it, or if it's like a Netflix exclusive or what, but if you happen to still have Netflix, it's worth a watch. That was good. All right, back to news. Let's see. Okay, did that. Large Marge, appearing on The View next Tuesday. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know whether to think, I'm not sure what to make of the whole thing with her acting, well, you know, doing all the things she's doing. Is it bait? Like, are they baiting people like The View to bring her on? I guess we'll find out whenever she's on The View next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday, Marge. What? We'll see how she does. I don't know. I'm not gonna write her off yet. Crazy things have happened. Some weird things have definitely happened over the last few years. So, President Trump just posted this video solidifying just how strong his new friendship and alliance is with right-wing Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. Oh, cool. Well, that's good to hear. Real Guitarther says that it's in the theater too. I don't know that it matters though, because if it's still a Netflix film, you're still supporting Netflix if you're seeing it in the theater. But I guess it's better than subscribing to Netflix monthly, I suppose. You're supporting a theater, you know, that's cool. Neato. Okay, Democrat rep, Jim Himes tells MAGA they better think. This is just astonishing. that they better think twice about supporting strikes on drug traffickers because, well, they need to imagine who gets killed when AOC is president. That's right, MAGA. Watch out. Because we'll bomb you if we get into the Oval Office. You're next. Why not just say it like that? That's what he means.
They're not terrorists. They may be drug runners. We don't know that for sure. But just because you call somebody a terrorist, we call lots of people terrorists, doesn't mean that the military is authorized to go after them. And if no other reason, and look, I talk to an awful lot of people who, despite the fact that this is illegal, are comfortable with lethal action against purported, maybe, cartel members. You know, where does it stop? Do we now start executing?
Who are smuggling what are effectively chemical weapons into our country? Screw off.
Drug dealers on the corners of Brooklyn, where does it stop? If all of a sudden the government, without telling anybody anything, can take this kind of lethal action just because they've decided that they've got the right to do so. If Lindsey Graham and other Republicans want to go the route of saying it's okay to kill people illegally, just so long as the American public supports it, the American public needs to really think that through. You know, there will be a Democratic president someday, and all my MAGA friends who are, cheering on these illegal killings need to imagine who gets killed when President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that it doesn't matter what the law says. She's going to do what she's going to do. So look, I work here, so I understand the complete abnegation of principle and a complete thumbing of the...
Are you really comparing... Again, killing people who happen to be smuggling effectively chemical weapons that will end up killing untold numbers of people into this country? You really going to compare that to AOC bombing U.S. citizens because she doesn't like them? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. If you want to do it, if you want to do that.
The rule of law, but I would hope that people like Lindsey Graham might not go that path because it's a very, very dangerous path for this country to go down.
Like I said, astonishing.
It's real.
Kristi Noem on sanctuary states, and they're handing out driver's licenses to illegals that end up, in many cases, just murdering people with 18-wheelers.
Really incredible. What has happened here is that we're really seeing and peeling back the onion on who is allowing these dangerous individuals to get on our roads and get behind 18-wheelers that turn into weapons when they don't know how to use them, they don't know how to operate them, and they can't speak our language or interpret our laws. So many of these sanctuary
and they're intoxicated, and God knows what else.
States are handing out
borderline mentally handicapped. Use a nicer word.
Driver's license. In fact, as a part of Midway Blitz, we saw over a dozen different states hand out driver's licenses that then allowed these individuals to go get commercial driver's licenses and go out and get onto our roadways. And we're stopping that. We're starting to vet individuals. We're starting to stop individuals. And when we do enforcement action on their driving records or on their trucks to make sure that they're legal, we're allowing our partnerships with these states, such as Indiana, which is where we're focused today, to do immigration enforcement as well, making sure that those individuals who shouldn't be in our country are brought to justice and they're removed from our country too. It's really incredible.
Yep. Bye-bye. Get them gone, please. ASAP. Australian Broadcasting Corporation's Sarah Ferguson repeatedly calls out Kamala Harris during an interview for a ducking question on Biden's decline. Oh, this should be fun. Did she actually call her out for the word salad?
Joe Biden, then, to put it on him, wasn't his refusal to recognize his own frailties the reason that you faced a nearly impossible task?
Oh my God, she even hits her with a softball like that? Like, are you kidding me? Completely removing any responsibility and turning her into a victim. Like, she couldn't even take that.
I ran against Donald Trump for president, and Donald Trump ran on a platform that was in large part, I believe, misrepresenting his intentions to the American people.
That's rich.
I do believe that there are a fair number of people that voted for Donald Trump who believed him when he told them that his first priority on day one is going to be to bring down prices. And he didn't. And you combine that misrepresentation of intention with also what was at play in terms of massive amounts of mis and disinformation.
Now, forgive me.
And a truncated calendar in terms of the clock.
I want to interrupt you because that is
There you go, ABC lady.
a world-class pivot.
Nice.
But it is not the question that I asked you,
Bravo, my dear.
which is about
A world-class pivot. Okay, I'll give her a point for that one.
Joe Biden's failure to recognize his own frailties and what that did to you. The question is about Joe Biden. Are you still reluctant to criticize the former president?
In what
She still gives her the softball of like, hey, Joe Biden, not you. Poor you, right? Poor you. She won't even do that.
regard, please?
Well, just in terms of that question, so you
What
went on.
exactly would you like to ask? Be more specific if you don't mind.
Was it Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position, that put you in a position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate.
I do
Everybody saw it, my dear.
believe that
Come on.
Joe Biden had the capacity to be president of the United States, and I
What, like capacity to would like breathe and kind of sort of amble around and exist?
I've never doubted
Exist as president? I guess.
that he had the capacity to be president of the United States.
In a legal sense, sort of.
If you want to talk about whether he had
Although even that's debatable.
the ability to endure what a race for president of the United States would require in that political environment in 2024, as I've said in the book, I had concerns.
I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that prolonged frailty question? Now, we saw the debate, we saw the difficulty he had marshalling his
I
thoughts.
have answered that question. I do not believe that
I think it's
No, you didn't.
just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity
I
wasn't
talked
present.
about that in the book. And I also mentioned the context in which that
Oh,
debate
she getting sassy.
occurred.
Listen,
And you'll probably
got that Pamela Sass in her voice.
remember how I talked about that in terms of what his travel
Got the icy look. Icy Kamala. Look at it.
schedule had been.
Look at it.
That what he had been enduring in terms of the timing of that debate. I talk about it extensively in the book. I'm not shying away from that.
Yeah, you are.
That's why I wrote it in the book, because I do know it's a question people had.
Woo-wee. That was really something. Oh, there's more.
I want to come back to the
Pamela Staff. No, it happens again. Shut up. Pamela Stafford cuts the interview off as she's pressed about Biden's frailties. You're kidding me. Again? Just like the famous one from campaign time? Oh my God. The evidence is in. The use of AutoPen has been rendered null and void. Who gave the order? We know it was Biden. People have to be put in prison for this. Indeed. Well, let's see it.
I want to come back to the book and the purpose of the book. So,
This is the last question. We're at time. We gotta go. Sorry.
yeah. Well, that's almost a first.
Wow.
But it's not an absolute first, but to have a member of staff of the former Vice President of the United States actually
Handlers.
speak up during the interview to say that we were going too long. I didn't expect that. But
How long was too long? I would love to know.
coming back to the interview itself, it seems to me at its very heart, there is a reluctance on the part of Kamala Harris to actually spell out and talk about
Well, literally anything
issues that
of substance.
Joe Biden had as president. Was it
Well, yeah, that, but I mean, literally anything.
Joe Biden's decision, his failure to recognize his own frailties in that position that put you in the position that made it almost impossible to win that race?
He was not frail as president of the United States.
But he had frailties. We all saw the debate. I'm just wondering, is there a reason why you won't go to that?
He lost multiple battles with sets of stairs. Okay.
Prolonged
Like,
frailty
come on.
question. Well, we saw the debate. We saw the difficulty he had marshalling his
I
thoughts.
have answered that question. I do not believe that
It's
there
I think it's just hard watching the debate to see how there could not be a problem long term with someone who can't marshal their thoughts. I'm not saying his acuity
I
wasn't
talked
present.
about that in the book.
It's in the book, but it seems to me she doesn't want to say it on camera. I asked her that, she denied it, but I think there is still a reluctance there to criticize Joe Biden, which makes her current pivot a really difficult one because she's Joe Biden's vice president. It seems she's still not prepared to completely condemn him, but she's got to be a character in her own right without Joe Biden attached.
Bizarre.
In order to have a chance to run again. So that, before I came in, that was the heart of the interview, and it turned out to be the heart of the interview.
So, see out there, King Kyle asking, who is this lady? I want to give her kudos for calling out Kamala's diversion. This is, where's her name? Sarah Ferguson of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Sarah Ferguson. Let's see, is that her? Yeah, that would appear to be her. At Ferguson News on X. There you go. I'd copy and paste it into chat if I could, but, you know. Can't do that. Thanks, YouTube. Kamala's staffer, we did. Okay, Trump has just set the annual limit for refugees into the United States at 7,500. What? No way. And most will be South African farmers who can, of course, easily assimilate and really, really need a place to go. Desperately. That's fantastic. That's great. 7,500 a year is more than reasonable. Quite low. Very low. Especially, again, if they're all or largely South African farmers fleeing, well, you know what's going on there. Nasty business. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state of emergency to release $65 million in food assistance ahead of the federal food aid program's expiration on November 1st. Bye-bye. Detroit police officer Matthew Jackson. I saw this. This was freaking hilarious. I don't want to ruin it. I'll just play it.
Put your appearance on the record, please.
Yes, Officer Jackson, badge number 3919, out of the 12th precinct.
All right.
You got to ask the camera, Judge.
You got some pants on, officer?
Sir, they're in the... No, sir.
Officer Jackson.
He starts offering an excuse, but then he's like, yeah, I put him in the dryer, but no, sir.
Okay.
What? How do you do that, man? Pants free in a Zoom call.
Jackson,
damn near tubing it.
badge number 3919, out of the 12th precinct.
All right.
Woo-wee. Hell, going to ruin people, man. Just completely. My God. All this remote business just, like, it somehow became acceptable to be professional from the waist up. And that's it. Okay. Former Russian sex spy explains how Russia is waging sex warfare on Silicon Valley nerds to steal their trade secrets. Oh, and you can bet your ass this is not limited to Russia. Guarantee you China's doing this too, not to mention any number of others.
Especially in Silicon Valley, where men are so easily, they're easily targeted because they're very, nerdish, kind of like maybe they're genius in IT and technology, but definitely not in dating. So they are very easy targets for those female agents who know how to manipulate on their own ego or their own, perception about themselves, how to do gaslighting, how to do like a whole like love bombing. There are like so many techniques. The Russian male agents who are very experienced, they would create a fake account of a female, a beautiful, sexy, I don't know, whatever, like wearing bikini. So it's like kind of like eye-catchy. Men are kind of very naive. If a beautiful girl striking the ego and telling, pretending also to be the victim, I'm alone, I'm by myself, I'm a student, don't have money.
That Russian
Come on,
accent.
This is all obviously fake, right? Just an example. If I would want to target you, I would give you compliments in the beginning and then say, but in your article, you could add this and this and this, and that information was not right, or blah, blah, blah. You sort of have this sort of doubts. Maybe I could put more information, maybe I could do more research or whatever.
Okay. Let's see. All right. There we go. Governor Pritzker's resignation is being demanded after he harbored 2 illegal aliens who killed 2 Americans in the state of Illinois. What? Ooh-wee.
Pacheco Meza is now looking at charges of driving without a license and not slowing down to avoid an accident. But there's more to this story. Earlier, a large crowd gathered in the Coles County Courthouse to mourn the deaths of Mike and Gail Clayton.
May God bless the Clayton family during this trying time. Thank you.
An emotional moment for Coles County Board Chairman Darrell Cox as community members mourn the deaths of board member Mike Clayton and his wife Gail. They were hit by another car in Westfield Friday and pronounced dead at the scene.
But I've been silent for too long. Mike and Gail Clayton were killed by a driver that was in this country illegally.
Originally, Illinois State Police told WCIA3 the suspect was from Indiana. Now, an Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesperson says in a statement, quote, ICE launched an immigration detainer on Edwin Pacheco Meza, 34, an illegal alien from Honduras, after he was arrested in Illinois. And Cox is being vocal about his concerns.
I'm calling on our governor and his legislature to reverse course and repeal the Trust Act.
It's an act Coles County Sheriff Kent Martin says sidelines law enforcement during immigration matters.
If someone is here illegally but hasn't been charged criminally in the federal court, we can't even notify someone that they're in custody.
Other board members made similar calls to action, and Cox went on to say the Claytons died because of, quote, broken immigration policies. WCIA3 reached out to the governor's office to comment on the matter. We have not heard back. All this as the county remembers a couple that impacted.
Here he is. Scumbag.
Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem have said they want to target the worst of the worst. They have not done that. They're attacking peaceful neighborhoods and terrorizing kids in Halloween parades.
Madam Secretary, care to respond to the governor?
Yeah, he's just not telling the truth. He's lying, and it's hard to fight constant lies and attacks from this governor, but we will constantly stand up for the truth and for those people that live in those neighborhoods who want peace, they want safety, and they want these criminals out. Every day we're on the streets of Chicago arresting people who have committed murders, rapists, those who are trafficking drugs and have been, victimizing that city for years. We finally have a president in the White House who wants to make this a safe environment for every single American citizen. And no matter what Governor Pritzker says, we're going to do our job. We're going to protect the people of Chicago. We're going to do our operations, and we're going to defend our laws, because that's what America is about. This isn't about him. It's not about me, and it's not about President Trump. President Trump gets up every single day and recognizes that the fight that he's having today today is for our next generation of Americans. It's for our kids. It's for our grandkids. What we do today is going to have a ripple effect for them, and that's why we show up and make sure that we're enforcing our laws, because they matter. And if Governor Pritzker doesn't like them, he can go change them. He can go be an advocate and convince people that he's right. He doesn't do that. Instead, he goes on TV and attacks people, and that certainly is not going to get him the results that he's hoping for, which is more power and a bigger office someday. He's focused on himself. Every day we get up and just fight for the American people.
Okay. Oversight Committee says our investigation found no record that Joe Biden played any role in authorizing these auto pen pardons. Fauci, Biden family, with the exception of Hunter, Adam Schiff, and the J6 committee, all should be declared null and void by DOJ.
Many were granted pardons by the auto pen on the last day of the Biden presidency with no record that Joe Biden played any role whatsoever in the authorization of those pardons. So I think all those pardons, from Dr. Fauci to the Biden family to Adam Schiff, the January 6th committee, the list goes on and on and on. I think every one of those pardons signed with an auto pen with no evidence that Joe Biden was involved in the decision making, I think every one of those can be declared null and void by the Department of Justice, and I think our evidence in the investigation will make that decision hold up in court. Many were granted pardons by the auto pen on the last day of the Biden presidency.
Okay. Okay. Shelves are bare, people starting to panic. South Carolina food banks bracing for chaos.
With SNAP benefits ending on Saturday, November 1st, a lot of their shelves have gone bare.
Shelves are bare and trying to restock as often and as quickly as we can.
The upcoming lapse in benefits will have a twofold impact, creating more demand for food.
People are starting to panic. There are people that, they're only bringing in $1,000 a month, and they still have kids, and they really don't know how they're going to make ends.
It's also driving more people to food banks.
Ramen noodles, stressed, but I feel a lot better because I have all these people that trying to help me. They've helped me out a lot.
Food bank volunteers are working in overdrive, meeting more demand with less supply.
They are activating the One South Carolina Fund, which we are anticipating being able to utilize, but that's not going to be the dollar amount that supplements SNAP.
While Harvest Help is prepared, they can only do so much if the shutdown stretches on.
You're gonna see, we've never had this happen before. There's never been a moment where this many people don't have access to food.
Thanks. This is quite long. John Soon, if there are any Democrats out there who care about the damage this shutdown is doing, then I have a bill at the desk. A clean, nonpartisan CR to fund WIC, SNAP, troop pay, air traffic controller pay, farm programs, housing assistance, national defense, and more. It won't work. They won't do it, though. Virtual confirmation hearing with Surgeon General nominee Casey Means postponed because she just went into labor. Oh, wow. Scheduled to be the first person to ever appear virtually at a confirmation hearing. Even during the pandemic. She was appearing remotely because, 9 months pregnant. Jeez. How can she... I honestly, I kind of have to agree with this. Like, how can she be expected to do the job? She's a mother, a new mom. I don't know that would have been my choice of the appointee with that in mind, but I hope she's doing well and her child's doing well. I'm sure she'd otherwise be a great Surgeon General, and just know that a new mother's the right choice for a high-pressure job like that. High demand. U.S. Senate votes to terminate President Trump's sweeping global tariffs, 51-47. Republicans who voted to overturn Trump: Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins, Rand Paul, and Lisa Murkowski. But of course, this doesn't matter because, yeah, it's DOA in the House. Not a big deal. Although, definitely nice to see who sucks when it counts. Most of those I expect at this point. This frickin' guy, Minnesota, Omar Fateh, pledged his loyalty to Somalia, then told the Somalis to vote for him on November 4th. Waving around a Somali flag.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bill.
Somalia.
Unreal, man.
Hiran State. Ma'awislay.
Huh?
Ma'awislay. Early voting was Hadda illa November 4. I need your vote.
Go home. I mean, like home, like all the way across the ocean, home. Where you came from.
Hadan Udkina, hello. We're gonna win.
Can't understand you. Okay. Vance concludes a roundtable with leaders from the air travel industry. Oh yeah, it's not been looking too good.
Yeah, what we just did was a little roundtable with leaders in the aviation industry. We've got leaders of labor represented. We've got leaders of the businesses that are, of course, making the airline industry run. And I just wanted to hear from people about the stresses of the aviation industry in light of the fact of the shutdown. And here's what I found out. It actually worries me a great deal because I think that as much as delays have gotten worse over the last couple of weeks, everybody here is very worried that we're going to see more delays, more stresses on the people who are actually making the aviation system run, and more problems for both the consumers but also the great workers who actually make this incredible shining jewel of the American economy actually work and work on time and work safely. Here are the things that I worry about. I worry about the people who are scanning our bags and making us get through the security line. I worry they're not getting paychecks. They're starting to get worried about how to feed their families and how to pay school tuition and everything else. I worry about the pilots who haven't gotten paid in a long time. I worry about the air traffic controllers who, of course, make this entire system extra safe. I worry about them, more worried about their credit card bill than they should be because they're not getting a paycheck because Democrats refuse to open the government. Now, I understand that a lot of Americans are sick of partisanship in Washington, D.C. Trust me, I've been here for 9 months in this job. I am sick of partisanship in Washington, D.C. But this is very, very simple. Every partisan dispute, every policy disagreement, all of these things we can talk about, we can reason through, we can disagree, we can shake hands and compromise on some of those issues, hopefully, but this is something that every single American, Democrat or Republican or Independent, should be able to agree on. Open the government. Stop this craziness and open the government. It's causing way too many problems, and some of the folks behind me are the people who are dealing with the problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next up here.
Look, the bottom line, and we took a position, I represent 1.3 million working men and women in this country for the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. We took a position 3 weeks ago. Pass a clean CR, get to the table, negotiate a deal. Do not put working people in the middle of a problem they should not be in there. And we got to think about the families that are going to be affected. Think about when you have to tell your son or daughter they can't play sports because you're not getting paid. Think about when you can't pay your mortgage. Think about when you can't pay your tuition. put the politics aside, get to the table, negotiate a deal, pass a clean CR right now, and then figure out the problems moving forward. And I want to thank the air traffic controllers. I want to thank the Aviation Administration for all their hard work and sacrifice they make. And look, security and safety of the airlines is paramount. Let's not compromise the safety and security. Pass a clean CR. Thank you. Look, the bottom line, and we took a position, I represent 1.3 million working men and women in this country.
Cool. All right. Trying to multitask here and do some things. Trying to get it so I can chat in my own freaking channel here. Well, at the very least, I can but now I need to make it a mod. Let's see. Sorry, one moment. Moderator. Managing moderator. Well, that's better than nothing. Better than nothing. Try again. Hey, there we go. It's blue. Now I can at the very least drop some links. They're ridiculous. To jump through hoops to be able to do that. All right. Let's keep going. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby on government shutdown.
And I want to start by really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of air traffic control shortages. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy, but as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy, and we start to see still minor but steep booking impact, and you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days, and while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR. Use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure, without putting the American workers and the American economy at risk.
Dennis Lau says, hello, Pam. Can you give us the Panwich recipe, fried egg and something? Okay, so you gotta fry up your bacons. Okay, fry up your bacon first. Set aside. You can do eggs at the same time. Do them. I mean, if you like them scrambled, do them that way. I do it over easy because I like the melty yolk. Then you put your sandwich together, put some butter in the pan with the bacon fat that's still in there. If you need a little extra fat, I mean, if the bacon grease is enough, you can just use that. And then you just fry both sides of the sandwich in the bacon, and use mayo. Top it with some mayo and Chipotle. If you like things spicy, use like I don't know, your favorite spicy spice, whatever, sriracha, habanero hot sauce. That's what I use. Really spicy hot sauce. Yeah, that's how you do it. Pretty simple. Delicious. Probably not too good for you. Good for the soul, though. All right, next up. Supermarket employees in Massachusetts assaulted by hood rats. Oh, have fun.
She cracked him hard with that cell phone right in the face.
Jeff Cuddy had no idea what he was walking into.
I hear someone go, they're fighting.
At Market Basket in West Bridgewater.
When was this?
Oh, and they're fighting like crazy.
Police say Olivia Bird and Regine Bird were approached by an employee because they didn't pay for several items, including lobster meat, prime ribeye steaks, and truffle butter. The encounter escalated, and police say the two women assaulted two employees.
She cracked him hard with that cell phone.
Cracked him hard.
Right in the face, and the guy was real respectful and responsible, and he just let it go.
The women were located in the parking lot by police and placed under arrest. According to court documents, the women said they were filling an Instacart order, but it was canceled, but police say they could not provide any documentation of that. The women then told police an employee put the items in the cart.
You don't act like that, especially in the grocery store. There's older ladies in there, there's children in there, the ladies using the F word, the N word, using all kinds of words that don't even belong in vocabulary.
Cuddy is relieved nobody was hurt, and he still cannot believe something like this happened at the basket.
But I was thinking maybe when the Patriots just kicked the Browns' butt, maybe inside it was a couple of fans fighting each other over the game, not people acting like this.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I don't know if that's recent or not. You can never tell. It actually looked like it might be older. Although you never know with these smaller local stations. Sometimes they're still running on old equipment. Still has that old look. Taylor Taranto's sentencing hearing is underway. Judge already questioning why Justice Department filed 2 sentencing memos.
Hey, it's Scott McFarland. I stepped out of court for a minute to give you an update on this ongoing sentencing hearing in the case of Taylor Taranto. Quick recap. Taylor Taranto, Jan 6 defendant, was pardoned for that, but was arrested in June 2023 for menacing outside the home of President Obama here in D.C. Found guilty in May. It's sentencing right now. It's still
how crazy
ongoing.
That's insane.
The issue here, which is distinctive, is that at some point yesterday, the Department of Justice sealed its initial sentencing memo, 14 pages against Taylor Taranto, a memo that referenced the rioters and the mob on January 6th, and referenced that it was then former President Trump who made public for some to see President Obama's address in D.C. When a new memo was posted, those two things were gone, erased. No more January 6th reference and no reference to Trump posting the Obama address. And the 2 prosecutors who had drafted the initial memo, who were on this case, were put on leave. I'll tell you what's going on inside the courtroom. It's in the 6th floor courtroom of Judge Carl Nichols. So far, the judge has already expressed questions about those sentencing memos. Why was the initial one sealed? There doesn't seem to be any reason under current court rules for them to have sealed that document. He wants that question answered. Hasn't been so far. He also wanted to say, and did say, the judge did, the 2 prior assistant U.S. attorneys on the case, Valdiva and White, were, in his words, commendable and excellent in their work at the highest level of prosecutions in this courtroom and the highest standards of professionalism. No explanation given in open court, at least not so far, why they were pulled off the case. Taranto's appearing virtually via Zoom technology. He's spoken a couple times, already says he's going to appeal this guilty finding. He's facing the prospect of 27 months in prison. They've not dug deep yet into why there was that last-minute change, why those prosecutors were pulled off, and why that sentencing memo was changed. I expect they'll get to that before this is over. The judge has already emphasized that this has been a significant case, that what Taylor Taranto did in June 2023 in that Northwest D.C. neighborhood caused a large response, a bomb team in a sensitive area. More to come when I run back outside.
What is this? Orwellian. Current and former prosecutors alarmed after DOJ scrubs mentions of Trump in January 6th from court records. Oh, so that's what he was kind of mentioning a little bit there. In the case of Taylor Taranto, who was convicted of bringing... Oh, well, that would explain that. Bringing illegal guns near Barack Obama's residence. that's not terribly bright. After talking online about violence towards the federal government, at least allegedly. Okay. He was arrested June 2023 after claiming on an internet live stream that he had a detonator the day before. Law enforcement officials told CNN at the time, and was searching for underground tunnels that led inside Obama and others' homes. Oh. Interesting. Bizarre. Oh, boy. Yep. Official. From the palace. Buckingham Palace. Prince Andrew stripped of all royal titles and evicted from Windsor Mansion. His Majesty has today initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. His lease on Royal Lodge has, to date, provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. Huh. Oh, interesting. Heritage Foundation comes out in support of Tucker Carlson following speculation, quote-unquote, that they were distancing themselves from him.
I'll have more to say on this in the coming days, but today I want to be clear about one thing. Christians can critique the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic.
Absolutely.
And of course, anti-Semitism should be condemned. My loyalty as a Christian and as an American is to Christ first and to America always. When it serves the interests of the United States to cooperate with Israel and other allies, we should do so, with partnerships on security, intelligence, and technology. But when it doesn't, conservatives should feel no obligation to reflexively support any foreign government, no matter how loud the pressure becomes from the globalist class or from their mouthpieces in Washington. The Heritage Foundation didn't become the intellectual backbone of the conservative movement by canceling our own people or policing the consciences of Christians. And we won't start doing that now. We don't take direction from comments on X, though we are grateful for the robust free speech debate. We also don't take direction from members or donors, though we are inherently grateful for their support. And we're adding more every day. This is the robust debate we invite with our colleagues, our movement friends, our members, and the American public. We will always defend truth. We will always defend America, and we will always defend our friends against the slander of bad actors who serve someone else's agenda. That includes Tucker Carlson, who remains, and as I have said before, always will be a close friend of the Heritage Foundation. The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, the American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate. And we have seen success in this approach as we continue to dismantle the vile ideas of the left. As my friend Vice President Vance said last night, what I am not okay with is any country coming before the interest of American citizens, and it is important for all of us, assuming we are American citizens, to put the interest of our own country first. That's where our allegiance lies, and that's where it will stay.
It was a good statement. Transparency coming to the docket of the since settled lawsuit again by Epstein survivors against J.P. Morgan Chase. After New York Times and Wall Street Journal won a bid for public access, a trove of info will hit the docket by noon tomorrow. And Democrats today blindsided by a White House briefing for GOP senators about the Venezuelan boat strikes. Huh. Top Democrats, including Chuck Schumer, were not aware of the briefing and were not invited. Mark Warner, loser, holding a press conference on it in the morning. That should be fun. Mike Johnson holding a news conference tomorrow with Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins. Interesting guest the day before SNAP benefits expire nationwide. Wonder what that's going to be about. Oh, new details emerge about Boasberg. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, doesn't want to load. Yep. Oh well. U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani will consider a motion that would require the Trump admin to continue funding the SNAP food aid program despite the government shutdown. How do you think she's going to rule? Let's see. Judge Indira Talwani. I don't know. Who knows? Guess that kind of depends. Kamala Harris melts down over Trump ballroom. Oh, great.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy
she's getting saucy.
wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So
No, they're not.
I'm
Babies are not going to starve, ma'am.
not going to be distracted by, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
Right.
Are you fucking kidding?
Wow. What is about the hammer? Like, what is she talking about with the ham? What? No idea. Cory Booker just glitched out and had nothing but word salad on why he and the other Democratic senators are keeping the shutdown going.
I want you to listen to Elizabeth Austin. She's a single mom of two who relies on SNAP. She was on CNN this morning, and she was talking about what happens if and when that money runs out on Saturday.
It won't stretch. It doesn't. So we'll pull from other parts of our budget. And that means my kids will go without. My daughter's birthday's coming up. It means I'll compensate in other areas.
You don't look like you've been going without.
That I shouldn't have to.
You could probably stand to. You want to stand up for everyone? Just so we can have a look?
So
have a look at your winter fat stores.
You say that Republicans are being cruel, but it's also true that you just have to vote yes, and 4 other Democratic senators have to vote yes, and the government will be reopened. And Elizabeth and 800,000 constituents of yours in New Jersey will, at least in the short term, not go without food.
Well, you see the choice that the Republicans are trying to force here. Choose between New Jersey's health insurance and health coverage or feeding New Jerseyans. This is a cruel choice that they're trying to make. We're saying that the richest country in the planet Earth has the ability to do both, to lower people's health care costs and to give people the resources they need to eat. This is very personal to me. As you know, I'm the only United States senator that lives in an inner city area where the majority of my community, they're working families, but we don't mistake wealth with worth, but we're about at the poverty line in my community where I live. I see families that every day work hard and play by the rules and are getting screwed by a rigged economy. And that is of the Republicans' making. Since Donald Trump has been in office, their grocery prices have gone up.
That's funny.
Their energy prices have gone up. Their healthcare costs have gone up. And what we're simply saying is this is one of those moments where the majority of Americans, they're Republicans or independents or Democrats, the majority of Americans are hurting right now under Donald Trump's economy. And I'm not giving my vote away to just see more of them plunged into further pain. People are about to get the sticker shock. November 1st, most Americans will now know that their health insurance will rise astronomically. And as a result of that, millions will lose health insurance. And what that means is I've talked to families in New Jersey. I talked to a dad of a special needs daughter who said him and his wife are going to have to give up their health insurance to keep their child covered. These are real stories of real people. And so don't tell me we as the United States of America have to choose between feeding families and giving families health insurance. We can do both. The Republicans have shown their ability to come up with tens of billions of dollars to give tax breaks to corporations and to the wealthiest. It's about time we started investing in American families.
I want to ask you about the governor's race in New Jersey.
Yeah, who caused literally all of that again, sir? You're just gonna completely absolve yourself of any responsibility whatsoever? Yeah, as usual. Chuck Schumer faces another stunning blow as Delta Airlines demands Senate Democrats pass Republicans' clean CR to reopen the federal government, pay TSA, and air traffic controllers. Will they do it? No. Not yet. Kelsey O'Donnell, the adopted daughter of leftist entertainer Rosie O'Donnell, was sentenced to prison last week after she violated her probation in a drug case. What? Well, that's a whoopsie. Happening tonight in Seattle, Antifa getting ready for a direct action in Seattle's Volunteer Park. Based on social media chatter, militant organizers are concerned MAGA patriots from Portland could come up and disrupt their operation. Halloween Eve could be lit. Stay tuned. Oh boy.
Hey guys, here's another reminder of this evening. There could be an Antifa direct action in Seattle's Volunteer Park. I picked up this flyer at last week's Seattle Anarchist Book Fair. This event is being called Mischief Night, means fight back, starts at 7 p.m. You know what it's going to be about. F ICE, F prisons, F Israel, F the state. So I know there's a lot of chatter online. It's unclear how big it's going to be or if people even show up. But again, this is being handed out right now. Looks like there's going to be an Antifa direct action in Seattle this evening. So stay tuned.
Block up, it says. Rep. Jasmine Crockett says President Trump is a loser. That's funny.
All I know is no, sir, you will not get a third term. That's not
you're stuck on that?
Gonna happen. I mean, the Supreme Court gonna have to find a big boy and big girl panties and do what's right. The Constitution is very clear, sir. And frankly, you never should have had one term. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, you were never qualified to be president of the United States, not once, but definitely not twice. And your incompetencies are showing. Your own people, yes, my homegirl, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is also very disappointed in you. Listen, you are a loser. And unfortunately, we all are being dragged down with you in your loser way.
Oh, this wacko. Illinois congressional candidate Kat Abelgazela has been federally charged, that's right, for impeding federal agents at an ICE facility in Chicago. Moron.
My name is Kat Abelgazaleh. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of Illinois. And the Department of Justice is charging 6 people, including myself, with federal crimes for exercising our First Amendment rights near ICE's Broadview Processing Center. This is a political prosecution and a gross attempt to silence dissent.
Whatever. No, it's not. You're an idiot. Pakistan and Afghanistan to restart peace talks in Istanbul on November 6th, Turkey's ministry saying. Refuse fascism here. Far left group organizing, here it is, November 5th, just like the video from the other day we saw. They're organizing an insurrection on November 5th in D.C. The plan is to besiege government buildings and streets until the U.S. government is toppled. That sounds shockingly like an insurrection. You know, one that's planned beforehand. In no uncertain terms. That is straight up. Wow. The Trump fascist regime is illegitimate, they say. What it is demanding we become is unconscionable. At every level of society, in every institution, tens of millions of us know this in our bones. If we dare, we can defeat a horror that threatens humanity's very survival. Oh, that's wow. If we fail to even try, future generations, if they exist, will never forgive us. Could you be any more just like Chicken Little? Hello? How ridiculous. Surround the White House, surround the Capitol, surround the illegitimate, fascist-packed Supreme Court. Dear God. Come back again and again. Let's see, where's the video of that bullshit? Here we go.
November 5th in Washington, D.C., the largest sustained protest in Washington, D.C.'s history. This needs to be what
Oh, so bigger than January 6th, huh?
happens right now.
You don't say.
Organizing millions of people to get to Washington, D.C., stand and surround the White House, surround the Capitol building, surround the illegitimate fascist Supreme Court, and not stop until the Trump regime is driven from power.
Boy, what do we got coming up around that time? On the 5th. The trip down memory lane, why not? Go to the oldest. Out of the early prime material here. Interesting. Hillary Clinton. Well, should be an interesting week here. Got National Guard all over the country. Certain cities. Trump just returning from China and South Korea. Well, not China, but South Korea and meeting with China, right? Didn't that show up somewhere in these? Sure it did. Wrong window. There we go. Okay. Let's keep going. Internet privacy company Proton launched a service on Thursday aimed at shedding light on cybercrimes by revealing new data breaches. Proton Mail? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, James Comey's filed another motion to dismiss. I think we saw. See how that goes. Okay, I suppose that does it for me. I don't think I tagged anything else from the phone, so. Oh. Cool. LC Max in and out. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice, nice. Ready for the weekend?
Oh, you know it. Yep.
Almost there. Halfway through the week. Over halfway through the week, so.
Yep. Starting to get kind of chilly, you know.
Yeah.
We're getting up towards winter.
We're actually having some nice weather. We did have snow quite a bit last week, though. So, but we're back in like the 40s.
Yeah.
And going all the way up to the 60s this weekend. So I can't complain about that.
Yeah.
I will take it.
Nice.
But then I'm sure it'll get just cold as heck. And everyone's saying we're gonna have a crazy winter. So.
Well, yeah, I've heard that one before. We'll see.
Yeah, true that. They're like the signs are coming together.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. I want a crazy winter. I want some.
I'd be
snow.
good with it.
I want
I'd be good with some
Christmas.
snow, man. Yeah. Heck yeah.
I want a lot of snow on Christmas.
Bring it on.
That's my daughter's like cognizant for the first time for this.
Oh, that's the
Christmas,
best
so
time
it'll
for
be-
that. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be. I hope we get some good snow. She got to see snow. She thought that was pretty fun. So
That's cute.
fun times.
Cool. This is the
And my
best.
son is still just a sack of potatoes. So
Aw.
he's getting there.
Well, yeah, before you know it,
I know. It goes too fast.
Yep. Cool. Well, I'll let you get to it, man. You have a good show.
All right. Say hi to Radix and everybody for me. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next Thursday.
We do. Adios.
See ya. All right, everybody. How's it going out?
All right. Bye, YouTube. That's it for me. For the time being, I might be back. I don't know. I thought I saw someone needed coverage Thursday late night. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll be back to cover for that. Not entirely sure if that was squared away or not. So we'll see. If not, I will be back tomorrow morning. Friday morning. So we'll check out the end of the week. End of the news week. Tomorrow morning. See you then. Bye bye.